Can you relate to this? You've got a meal plan made out, but by the time you get to the bank, run all your errands, and get home, you really just don't feel like pulling all the pots and pans out and cooking supper. Or maybe you just really don't want a full-on meal that night. Sometimes we just want something snacky. If you're in that situation, you've come to the right place. I'm Mel, and this is my kitchen. Welcome. Tonight, I'm going to share with you some delicious, quick and easy, snacky meals that will get you in and out of the kitchen in a flash. Sit back, relax, grab your sweet tea, and let me do not so much cooking. The first thing we're going to do is sliders 2 ways. I'm starting out by making a simple package of this Betty Crocker Suddenly salad. We absolutely love this. Just making this according to the package directions. It comes in lots of varieties. If I have the ranch one, I love to add lots of vegetables in each night as we pull it out to eat. My marked down bakery deli rolls and buns inspired this meal right here. The first thing you have to do is to cut your rolls in half. That's the hardest part of making sliders for me. I survived another battle with my big knife. For the ham sliders, you're just going to put some mayonnaise on the inside of the tops and the bottoms of your rolls. Just how much ever you think you'd like. Next, I'm going to lay down a little bit of shredded cheddar cheese. You can use sliced cheese, whatever flavor or kind you like. This is just what my family has always liked. And I'm using about a half a pound of some deli brown sugar ham, and I always ask them to shave it. We really love this texture, very thin, and it's good to cut. It doesn't all come off your buns whenever you're cutting it. It kind of stays intact a little bit better. Now you're just going to put your tops back onto your rolls there, and we're going to work on this mixture. I have melted 1 stick of butter in the microwave, and I'm putting in about a teaspoon of some Dijon mustard. You can also use regular mustard. I'm going to throw in a little bit of these chopped onions. Sometimes I just sprinkle these on top. Sometimes I'll mix them in with my butter mixture. I'm going to put in probably a teaspoon so of Worcestershire sauce and mix all this together. And I will have you links for all of these sliders down in the description box. Be sure and check it out so you can get the correct measurements that you would need. Now, just making sure that is mixed up well and going to brush it all over the top of these rolls. If you don't have a little brush, don't worry about it. You can just pour it over the top or drizzle it with a spoon. Kind of rub it in, make sure you get down the sides and all the ways around. What takes this over the top is this additional brown sugar step. Just going to sprinkle a little bit on top. You could put this in your butter mixture, but I like to sprinkle it. It gets a little bit of a crunchy texture when it bakes up in some areas, and I absolutely love that. Now we're going to cover this loosely with some aluminum foil. You don't want to move that brown sugar you have on there. This is going to go in a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. Then we'll pull the aluminum foil off and let it brown up for about 5. And now we're going to build our chicken bacon ranch sliders. We're going to start with our butter mixture, and I've taken half a stick of butter. I'm going to stir in about a half a teaspoon of garlic and about a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. I have halved this recipe, so again, check the description box so you can get the measurements for the full recipe if you would like. Now, I'm using some Hawaiian rolls that I found marked down for this, and we're actually going to put this butter mixture on the inside and outside. So I'm just going to brush a little bit over the inside of these rolls. And I'm going to use shredded cheese on this. I'm using a little cheddar and a little Monterey Jack. Now here I'm using just some chicken breast out of the deli. Again, I've had them shave it, and we love the flavor and the texture of this. I'm just sprinkling on top of that some real bacon pieces that are already cooked up in the package there. Then you're just going to squirt on a little bit of bottled ranch dressing. Going to make sure we brush the insides of these buns, and I think when I've made these before I actually put another layer of cheese slices and buttered that cheese, but this time I'm just doing them like this. Now I'm going to take whatever butter I have remaining and pour it right over the top and kind of brush all of that in. And then you're going to sprinkle some Parmesan cheese over the top of this, just a little. And these you really want to watch because the Parmesan cheese does have a tendency to brown these up a little bit quicker once you take that full off. But they're going to go right there in that 350-degree oven along with those brown sugar ham sliders. Pull them out about the same time. Have let them cook to just a few minutes with the aluminum foil off, and look how pretty they have all turned out. Ooey gooey delicious. Gonna slice those right up in the plates. This is so good. We can never decide which one of these that we want or which one we like better. This is a perfect little party snack, appetizer, something to have at football times, looking forward to fall. But hey, this also makes a fun little summer dinner whenever you want something quick and kind of snacky. We had some cut up veggies and pickles and pasta salad. If sliders is not quick enough for you, how about a 10-minute KFC bowl? I'm using these Purdue chicken nuggets, a jar of gravy, instant mashed potatoes, and canned corn. Couldn't be any easier than this. These little Purdue chicken chunks, this is the first time that I have bought them, and these were so good. And they just cook up in about 10 minutes in the oven. I have got my gravy on the back stove warming up, and I have just drained my corn, and I'm going to throw that in a bowl with a little pat of butter and stick it in the microwave for about a minute and a half to get warmed up. Instant mashed potatoes, all you got to do is boil water and mix it in. I doctor them up with just a little bit of salt and pepper and some butter. This is so quick. This came together so easy. I'm building Patrick's actual bowl right here. Mashed potatoes, put some corn on top of that, his little chicken nuggets. Gonna put a little gravy over that, and then sprinkle some shredded cheese on top. That's just the way KFC does them. And that was the cutest little dinner, and so quick and so easy. But you know, here at our house, you're going to get it the way you want it if you live here. Maddie wanted a big salad, put her tenders over that. That was delicious. Callie actually had a little nugget bowl, and she pulled out a couple of leftover sliders, some chips and veggies. And then, of course, I wanted mine, not in the bowl either, and a bunch of veggies and dip on the sides. This was delicious, totally customizable. Now we're going to make some little pizzas. I had this Hunt's pasta meat sauce that needed to be used up out of the pantry. And we're going to use some grand style biscuits. We got some cheeses, and I had this half a pound of cooked ground beef in my freezer. And this is a great way to use up just little bits of things you have in your freezer laying around. The first thing that I'm going to do is just prep up some of the toppings here. Since these are going to be on little biscuits here, I'm cutting up my onion and my pepperoni very small, and I have defrosted and warmed up that ground beef in the microwave. It just took a couple minutes on that. Now I am spraying a couple of baking sheets, and me and Maddie are just taking our biscuits and kind of stretching them out a little bit. You want to be kind of gentle with them. About maybe 5 inches or so. Once we get them stretched out, we'll just press them out a little bit more on these baking sheets. This is a great way to use up those bits and pieces of just whatever you have. We're just going to use a big spoonful of pasta sauce on each one of these little biscuits here. And of course we had plenty left, so I'm just putting it in this little container and I'm going to stick it in the fridge, and I will make up a little pasta dish sometime this weekend. You're just going to top these with whatever cheese you would like. We're using an Italian blend that has all kinds of goodies in it. And I always like to sprinkle just a little bit of Italian seasoning over my cheese when I do a homemade pizza. That's just a little step that brings in a lot of good flavor. Putting a little bit of ground beef on some of these, a little bit of pepperoni on some of them, some onion on others, and we definitely did not use all this ground beef either. So whatever I did not use, I put up. I may use it with this pasta sauce later this weekend, or I might use it tomorrow night in some taco quesadillas. Just not sure yet, but here me and Maddie are just making a good variety for everybody, and we forgot we had bacon to go on them too and decided we didn't even want it. Now these are going to cook up really fast for you too. Put them in a 375 degree oven. Check them after 10 minutes. Honestly, they were perfect. Look how beautiful they are. They just puff up, and it's like a little miniature personal pan. So good. This is great for a quick lunch or a quick dinner. Again, I pulled out that little bit of pasta salad that we had left and some more of our raw vegetables. This was quick, easy, and delicious. Who doesn't love nachos? I'm pulling out some pork my husband had smoked a while back. We had it in the freezer. I'm just going to thaw that out. It was the same color as my counter, and I'm going to mix it up with a little barbecue sauce. Now, if you don't have pork barbecue, don't worry about that. You can get some of that convenience kind that you find at the grocery store. You could even do a rotisserie chicken. You could get canned chicken and mix it with some barbecue sauce. You could even just do this Mexican style with some black beans or refried beans, taco meat. This is completely an inspiration idea. This is what I had on hand and what we're making out of it tonight. So I'm laying out some nachos on a sheet pan here, and I'm just going to take that pork barbecue that I've thawed out and heated just a little bit in the microwave, and I'm just going to put that all over the top of my layer of nachos. Put as little or as much as you like. And toppings are going to be the same way on here. I had a little bit of corn left over from something I had done earlier this week, so I just threw the whole kernel corn in there. I had some green onion laid out to top this with, but it was kind of limp and didn't look so good, so I just chopped up some raw onion, and I'm going to put that on here to cook. And nachos are not nachos without some yummy cheese. And I love to use a white, like Monterey Jack or something like that on these nachos. I just come back over the top with a little bit more barbecue sauce to give it all the flavors. Going to put that in a 350 degree oven. I set it on 10 minutes and start checking in on it. All you have to do is let your cheese get melted and make sure everything's heated thoroughly. Look at this big yummy mess. It looks awful, but it is delicious. My husband absolutely loves when I pull out the leftover barbecue that we've frozen to use this way. Now, I totally could have made a quesadilla out of this tonight. I have been on this taco flavor kick myself, but I chose to go with a taco quesadilla instead. Now again, I pulled out that little bit of hamburger meat I had left over from whenever we made those biscuit pizzas, and I'm just going to mix some taco sauce with this. Again, completely inspiration. You could do the barbecue in this. You could do any of the substitutions that we talked about over there, the rotisserie chickens, the canned chickens. You could even do some fried chicken tenders that you heat in the oven like we did for the KFC bowls and put that inside here. You could just do black beans, refried beans. You could do just cheese. The sky is the limit with this. Now I have melted a little bit of butter in my skillet and I'm putting down a taco-sized tortilla and I'm going to give it a nice layer of some Monterey Jack cheese. I'm just going to take this meat and put it all along the bottom. Now would this not be awesome if you had leftover sloppy joes? That would be delicious. Or if you just laid down some cheese singles and left your hamburger meat like it was, and put some onions and some of that Big Mac secret sauce, you could have yourself a Big Mac quesadilla. I'm gonna have to try that next. So I put some onions in here. Then I'm just gonna seal the deal with another little layer of cheese to hold everything together and top this with another flour tortilla. I always like to give it just a little smush down for some reason. I'm going to make sure that it is holding together and browned up, and I'm going to flip her. And now let's give it a check. Looked good to me. Let me show you guys how pretty and brown it is. That thing is good to go. And in case you didn't know this, I like to cut mine with a pizza cutter. That is just a simple way to cut them. And here is what we are waiting for, guys. Look at that cheese stretch. That was absolutely delicious and exactly what I wanted with some chips and salsa. I hope you found this video to be very helpful in these busy days, and if you're looking for some more dinner inspiration, maybe something a little bit heartier, but you still want to get in and out of the kitchen in a hurry, check out either one of these videos that I have up on the screen of One Skillet Meals. You won't be disappointed. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I send you love from my kitchen.